Hi, everybody. I'm Tanya Everhart, founder of BrandFace, where we help business stars differentiate themselves, and we do that through personal branding.
Hi, guys. I'm Michael Carr. I'm the COO of BrandFace. I was a client before I became a partner in the company. We're the only comprehensive personal brand building system across the globe. Thank you for joining us today. We're talking about opinion versus ownership today.
Yes, we are. And that means your personal brand. So if you have, the reason we're doing this today is if you have any trepidation about whether you should develop your personal brand and be the face of your business, or have any trepidation about just going through the process and what other people might think or say about your brand once it's all ready to go, then this is the topic for you. Opinion versus ownership. So your brand is a very personal thing. It communicates not only the professional parts of you, like your skill set, your experience, how long you've been in the industry, etc., but it also communicates the personal things about you, like what it's like to do business with you as a human being. That's critically important, because if all we did was espouse the things that set us apart professionally, boy, would that be a boring world, right?
Mm-hmm.
We want to know that the person we're thinking of doing business with is interesting, unique, has something they're bringing to the table that is really going to help me in that arena. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. And it stems from the fact that as we've put a lot of people through the personal branding process, they've also had a tendency early in the process to ask their own, their friends, family, peers, etc., the opinion about, hey, what do you think about this brand identifier? What do you think about this photo? Those kind of things. And first I want to define what a brand identifier is, and then we're going to talk about 3 reasons why it's important to put the blinders on during the branding process. So a brand identifier is otherwise known as a slogan or a tagline, and it's one of the first things that we work on with people to basically give them a tone and direction for the brand. So a brand identifier should state who you are, or what you do or stand for. And again, it's designed to just create that framework, put up the guardrails for the brand so you know the direction you're moving in and what you want to be known for. But it by no means is all of the brand, which leads us to the very first point about why it's important to put those blinders on and own your brand rather than asking for opinions about your brand.
That's right. Well, first off, the ownership of a brand denotes leadership, right? And the opinion of what you think about a brand denotes that you're looking for something else that would shore you up on your decision to do so, not necessarily a bad thing. So we're not saying that in asking somebody's opinion about your brand identifier or the direction of your brand, that is a necessarily horrific thing. But what we want to point out is you have to consider the source of who you're asking, even if it is a spouse or a very, very, very close loved one. And what I liken it to is like my grandmother, right? My grandmother, I was very close with both my grandmothers. My grandmother on my father's side, I was closer just because she lived longer. And, I could have told grandma that I was a serial killer, and grandma would have been like, oh, honey, I'm sure you had a good reason to do it, right? Not a trustworthy opinion, right? Because she's just going to back my play. It didn't matter, right? Period. She's like, sure, right. Go ahead. It's because I love you. And then on the other side of that, we have the juxtaposition of my stepfather, who was, by all intents and purposes, my father. I love the man to death. He was a 31-year veteran with the police force. And when I told him that I was going to get into the auction business, he tried to talk me out of it. And he's like, oh, son, you don't want to do that. You're never going to know where your next paycheck's coming from. Just go get you a good job, and you know what you're going to make every week, and just live under that, right? Hey, great advice, right? Sure. Fantastic, loving, caring advice. Terrible opinion. Right. And because had I done it, I wouldn't have had the fun that I've had over my 28-year career as an auctioneer. I've had a blast. I've been all over the world. So you have to consider the source when you're asking your opinion about your brand. When you're putting your brand together, that brand needs to identify with you. And even your very close loved ones might not completely understand the direction in which you're going. And you need to put your faith in people that do know what they're doing, which leads us to number 2.
Which leads us clearly to number 2, which is going to be a bold statement here, guys. A lot of people do not understand branding. So especially if you're in the early in the process of developing that brand, the last thing you want to do is ask a bunch of people who do not understand branding. And that is a lot of people, guys. In fact, we've had a lot of clients go through our program and be personally branded as the face of their business, and they have a huge level of experience in branding. Some have MBAs in branding, not branding, I'm sorry, marketing and marketing. And marketing and branding are two very different things. So I'm going to explain the difference between the two in pretty clear terms. Marketing is using various vehicles, marketing platforms and vehicles. It could be anything from postcards to door hangers to Facebook ads, Google ads, Instagram ads, newspaper ads, billboards, TV ads, you name it, right? Mobile ads, doesn't matter. That's a vehicle you're using to get a message out to your prospective customer. The brand is the message that you're getting out on those various different vehicles. So knowing how to get a message out on branding is very different than knowing how to create and craft a message that is authentic, that is designed to attract your ideal customers. All of those things really matter in the brand, and a brand encompasses a lot of different things. So if you are asking someone about your brand early in the process, chances are they don't even understand branding. So, and we say this because over doing this for so many years, it has happened a lot of times where people come to us and say, hey, my brand identifier, my tagline, I ran it by so-and-so. It could be a husband, it could be a sister, it could be a niece that's, going through marketing classes, a peer, for heaven's sakes. Why would you ask them, right? But they'll come back and they'll say, well, I don't really understand that. I don't know what it means. I don't really, and the point of the matter is it's not finished yet. It's just getting started. So until your brand is completed and developed, fully developed, you really should put the blinders on. And I'll tell you why. You know what you want to achieve. You know your goals, and we know branding. Right. And again, we're not saying don't ask people for opinions. We're just saying if you ask people for opinions, take them with a grain of salt, because you need to own the brand. So that's the opinion versus the ownership.
Yeah, very important. And then the third one is a lot of times we're asking people who don't fully understand, or we're asking people that might be in competition with us. We have had people in the program say, well, I asked my peers, and I'm like, look, they are competing with you, and like you can't really tell whether or not they're giving you an honest answer. We're not saying that people are dishonest about the way they answer, folks, but some are, and sometimes sometimes they may be jealous of the direction that you're going. Sometimes they may think, okay, what if this works and their business takes off, and we know it works and their business is going to take off. But we also know that it all comes down to how well you own it. And so what we want you to take from this show that we're doing is a difference in opinion and ownership. When you are going after your own brand, you are going after the ownership, the authenticity of who you are and why you do what you do. The branding messages and the things that we will complete for you is how to portray that out to people. So if you just go to somebody and you take one portion of that, it would be like effectively like me taking this vest and having this vest is the only thing that I have on, and then asking all of my peers, what do you think about my new suit? Right? And you don't have a suit on. All you're wearing is a vest, sir. Right? But you won't get that answer. You'll get like, oh, I don't like that. That doesn't make any sense. Well, of course it doesn't make any sense. It hasn't been built yet. But I can tell you this, and it is part of the program. So when you join the program and you go through it, you'll get a kick out of it when you hear us say it. If your peers are bucking against it, it's a very good sign that it is working, and you need to continue it. You need to continue it.
That is right.
And because we're always in it, you can look up some of our bonus materials. We've done 2 that I know of in the bonus material videos that haters and why we love them. And there's a reason why for that, because, we're here to be top of mind awareness. And that's the reason that you build a brand. It's the reason why you want a brand, and it works. And so, weigh out the opinions that you're asking, and don't waver on the ownership that you're committing to better yourself and your business, because we know that marketing works. branding works for in the marketing arena, right? And when you don't have that, marketing a lot of times does not work.
That's true. That's true. So early in the business, when I was in media for so many years, we used to call it the vanilla marketing approach, because it's just so bland and it does not stand out. And sure, you may get some results from it, but they're nothing compared to the results they could be if your brand and your message and your image stood out. Because your brand really is the message and image that you put out there to create the feeling and attraction to you that you're trying to create. So there are lots of different opinions out there, definitions of a brand, but that's really what it's all built upon. It is the message and image we put out there to help us attract the ideal customers we're seeking to do business with every day. So don't do the vanilla approach, guys. If you're ready for a bold brand, we want to invite you to one of these 2 Facebook pages. Okay, if you are a business owner or entrepreneur, go to the Facebook group Build Your Business Star Brand. You're going to find content and access in there that you won't find anywhere else, called Build Your Business Star Brand. If you are a real estate professional, go to Build Your Real Estate Brand, closed Facebook group. Click to join. We have people standing by right now to let you guys in, and we appreciate your time today and hope that the opinion versus the ownership really stands out, because hey, life's full of opinions, but it takes a bold person to own their brand.
It does. It'll make a difference, folks. And we teach you these things because we want prosperity. We want prosperity in our life. We want prosperity in your life. And when we say prosperity, we're not just talking about money. We're learning in these times. It's so much more, right? There are much more important things than that. We're talking about the 360 of an abundant life. But we do know that prosperity favors the bold, folks. So around here we say be bold, especially with your brand. And thank you, Ms. Tanya.
And thank you. And if you guys have any questions about your own brand, you want to talk about it, see how we can be of help to you, discussyourbrand.com is where you want to go. Discussyourbrand.com. All right. Everybody have a wonderful rest of your day. If you have any questions or comments beyond this, leave them down in the comments area. We will circle back around right away and answer any of your questions. Okay, guys? So thank you very much.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.